Okay, here we go, guys. Now, before I get started, I'm saying it right now. I'm going to put a timestamp in the description so you can see when you can skip this. Because if you don't want to hear my thoughts on what's going on with Tessa, Jake, Chris, along with Michael Elgin and stuff, you just want the review, you can skip straight through it. Because I got to address this. I know one of my subscribers did ask, hey, are you going to do a separate video on it? I said, no, I'm going to wait until I do the Impact review, which I'm doing it now. Let's make this clear. Wrestling right now sucks for wrestling fans because there are no fans in the seats and huge amounts of situations where wrestlers can easily get sicker than we normally can because they're in such close proximity to each other. On top of that, you worry about your favorite wrestler might be getting sick from the virus itself because of mismanagement. We know what we're talking about. We're not talking about AEW, not talking about Impact Wrestling. We haven't heard anything from Impact. They don't have a very strong following, but we haven't heard anyone in Impact getting sick. We now know in AEW that we got 2 people who was exposed to people who had been tested positive or had the virus. Ergo, what's going on with Jon Moxley and his wife getting the virus, and QT Marshall also getting close to somebody who's also gotten sick. That's it for AEW, and nothing from Impact. WWE, I've heard so many people talk about it, so I'm just going to say my bit here. We have had a triple whammy in wrestling. One, the virus hit us hard because we have no fans in the seats, so we just don't have the right feeling. Then, we now hear that wrestlers are having terrible situations because either the accusations are false, because we still don't know if the accusations of the Me2 movement are 100% truthful, because, and I'm talking about not just male wrestlers being accused by female wrestlers, but also female wrestlers being accused by men. I mean, that's not something you normally hear, but we got both sexes in this situation. We do. We have other wrestlers that are not being properly publicized, because who's going to care about a male wrestler saying a female wrestler screwed him over, or another female wrestler being screwed over by another female wrestler? It's only male wrestlers screwing over female wrestlers and anyone else involved as well. Now, I'm not saying the truth, that it's a lie. I'm just saying that we got a lot of accusations and we got no proof yet. And if we do have proof, and it is the guy who did it, let him burn, because they deserve it. But when it comes like to a person like Velveteen Dream, where we still don't know if it's true yet or not, that he's been messing with underage girls, it's horrible to see the guy got into a car accident and then lost his job. Still don't know if he's guilty or not. He could be like an Enzo Amore, where the guy was accused. He did screw up because he didn't let the WWE know. But instead of waiting until you find out the truth, you fired the guy before even the case even brought. As far as I understand, he was fired before they even had the case brought to court. So we still don't know what's going on with him. But like I said, the virus killed the wrestling fan in the seats. So it doesn't feel really good. Then this accusation of the Me 2 movement, which truly is hurting the business. Not saying it doesn't deserve to come out. People have been treated badly. They deserve their justice. I'm just saying, like I said earlier, we still don't know, but it still looks bad. And then now, the WWE, with Vince being so inept that he did not do the proper job of testing people. Now you got dozens of people in the company sick, which makes the business overall look bad. So we got the triple whammy, ladies and gentlemen. So it's really hard to be dealing with this. It's hard. So seeing now in Impact Wrestling, where now Michael Elgin is gone. I believe Dave Chris is gone. I don't believe he's still there. Joey Ryan is gone. And now Tessa Blanchard, from what I understand, did not want to do her job. She didn't want to do any vignettes to set up for Slammiversary. She did not want to come back. and they stripped her of the title, and she was let go. Now, I'm going to say this for the record. I did say this quite a while ago. And understand, now at this point, after all that I went through trying to figure out what was about Tessa Blanchard, because I said there was something off about her. But just taking it for what it was, I'm not against Tessa now. I'm not for Tessa. I don't hate Tessa for what she did. Do I believe it's not a good thing to do for the business? Of course. But when it comes down to it, I'm not for or against her. She made this call. Now she's got to decide what's going to happen after that. If she goes to the WWE, you know what's going to happen. If she goes to AEW, which I don't think Tony Khan is going to be dealing with her. If he does, he'll be dealing with her. I don't know where she's going to go. And personally, it's none of my business. Just like you guys, it's none of your business where she goes. What's going to happen whenever she does end up on a wrestling promotion is how the wrestling promotion is going to promote her, and can we get over the fact of what she's done by not doing the right thing for Impact Wrestling. In other words, doing the vignettes, going to do your job, and not pretty much having something that's going to turn the fans off. That's what it comes down to. But now, if I put the timestamp right now, at this moment, there. Let's get to the show. What do we got? We got Where We Going. Because of what I just said earlier about we got several people gone from the company, a lot of storylines that we probably will see is not going to go anywhere. So, it's a question. Opening of the show, we got Chris Bay versus Suicide. This is just giving Chris Bay something to do before his match with the Willie Mack at Slammiversary. Was it a good match? It was okay. Wasn't a bad match. I'm not a big fan of this version of Suicide. Whoever it is, I do believe is Caleb Connery, who is Suicide. If TJ Perkins was still Suicide, I think he's a better Suicide. But if it is Connolly, I'm not against him, but I'm not really a fan. He's a good wrestler, but I'm not really a big fan of his. In the end, it's Johnny Swinger who saves his butt. And when it was all over, and you got the stupidly ridiculous Johnny Swinger opening his mouth, and then conveniently the ref comes out and here's what Johnny did and saying he's willing to pay him off. Now we find out Johnny Swinger's not going to be at ringside at Slammiversary. It's just ridiculous. But it is Johnny Swinger's MO. This is Johnny Swinger. This is what you get. We'll find out what the situation is going to be in about 19 days, I believe, 18 days for Slammiversary. Now, locker room talk with the triangle of Johnny Bravo, of Rosemary, and of Taya Valkyrie. We got Johnny as the first guest. And they're trying to stir the pot. That is a Madison Rayne. She's trying to find out where Johnny stands with Rosemary. And are you in love with her? Then Rosemary appears. And she's wondering herself. And then Taya comes out. And you would think that if you could try and do this as a triangle story, you would think that there might be a little bit of a controversy, a little bit between Taya and Rosemary. No. Taya is not in love with Johnny Bravo. We already know that. But Taya considers Johnny Bravo her man Friday. And if you don't know what a male Friday is someone, if you're stuck on a desert island, that would do anything your heart's desire. Usually it's girl Friday. If a guy's marooned on a desert island, he wants a girl Friday to be the one to take care of him, do whatever he wants. And you know what I mean. But the thing is that instead of the controversy being about, well, Johnny is going to go to Rosemary, and you wonder, Rosemary, why are you messing with Johnny? He's nothing. He's garbage. Why don't you, ew. Don't do that. And you see Rosemary saying, yeah, you might be right. But in the background, she's still trying to get Johnny Bravo. And then you see in the background that the Taya Valkyrie's trying to keep her, basically, her manservant. But no. You get her saying, hey, I don't trust, particularly what happened last week, I don't trust this thing over here. Why don't you come and be by my side? And she says, all right. And then they leave it at that. I don't really agree with that. I'm not saying that Taya is going to say, I love you to Johnny Bravo. But if you want Rosemary to feel like she's getting somewhere with Johnny, either I'm about to say Tessa. Taya must act like she's worried that Johnny's not going to stay her servant, her butler, whoever else she wants to call it. And Rosemary, if she's just trying to get another soul or she's actually legitimately in love with a Johnny Bravo, she needs to show more interest. It's just, that's just me. The North had a promo with Shamrock. I mean, he wasn't out there, but it was about Shamrock. And pretty much saying Shamrock is nothing. Shamrock can't deal with us. No one can. But Shamrock, excuse me. But Shamrock, oh man, sorry, allergies. But Shamrock comes out. Shamrock wants a piece of them. He doesn't stand a chance. But then, while they're saying, Shamrock, you got no one in your corner. You're never going to have anyone that's going to help you against us. You now have ICU. And I don't understand why you still got ICU. And look, guys, when it comes to Sami Callihan, legitimately, Sami has been cooled off. He's done. Instead of doing something with Sami, particularly, and I'm not saying that the idea of Slammiversary having a mystery opponent for the Fatal 4-Way isn't a great idea, but wouldn't it make sense to put Sami in a position where he should be trying to get that title back? Because he never did get a rematch. No rematch. So it's like, where's Sami? He's been in filler. And now he's working with Shamrock to go after the North and possibly get the... You're in my face. The Impact Grand... I'm about to say the Impact Grand Championship. You see how angry I am. I see nothing for Sami. He should be working in the main title. He should be. He should be in the main title scene, and he's not. So I'm confused. Why? Why isn't he in the main title? I don't get it. Now, Moose versus Crazy Steve. This was a good match for what it was. And, I gotta say this. When it comes to the show, they were doing a lot of bleeding. They had people spitting up blood or having blood. You got Josh Alexander bleeding from the nose. I almost got up here. Josh Alexander bleeding from the nose. You pretty much had Crazy Steve bleeding from the mouth. And once the match was over, because pretty much Crazy Steve lost, I didn't expect him to win. He got his butt kicked. And then Tommy Dreamer comes out trying to stop it all. And then he gets kicked in the head by a Moose. And then Moose supposedly busts him open. And he cuts a good promo saying pretty much his whole existence, Moose, as an NFL player, as a wrestler, then not being anything in the NFL and as a wrestler, because the only thing he cares about is money, and this is about passion. No matter if you're in the NFL or wrestling, it's about passion. And he's going to make him suffer for it. He's going to be a footnote. That means he's going to be his next opponent, possibly at Slammiversary. To be honest, I do not want to see Tommy Dreamer face off Moose at Slammiversary. I'm sorry, guys. If anybody's glad to see Tommy dealing with a Moose either before Slammiversary or at Slammiversary, I say no. If you got people coming in from WWE, we know there's going to be a few people coming in. And I have to say this, if you saw what was the match of the week, you saw Eric Young facing Magnus, a.k.a. Nick Aldis. And that's another champion. And I said this last week. You don't know who it truly is. It could be EC3, but also Eli could come back. Or James Storm could come back. We have no idea who's coming. We don't. I do believe it's a good chance that EC3 will be going into the main title picture. But we don't know who's going to be dealing with Moose. I would rather see Moose deal with someone coming back like an Eli. That's what I'm kind of hoping here. Yes, I don't want to see Tommy Dreamer go up against Moose, but I would understand if Moose has to have someone to deal with because we have about 19 or 18 days left. So next week, it will probably be Tommy Dreamer. I'm sure of it, or the week after that. Maybe before Slammiversary. And then he'll get another person with their theme music coming out. That's what I'm hoping for. This is just me, you guys tell me below. We had the Havoc versus Kira Hogan match. Now, was it a good match? It was okay. Admittedly, seeing Kira Hogan, and understand, I am a Kira Hogan fan. I do believe this woman should have already had a shot at the title and actually won it, even if it wasn't very long, a few months. She should have already had the title. And I know many people say she is too underdeveloped. Look, when there were so few people in Impact, you needed to switch it up. And I do believe Kira Hogan by now has matured enough that she can go in the main title scene. Yes, there is going to be a match for all the women. That is an Impact at Slammiversary, which I'm fine with. But I'm just saying that she could have had the title earlier. Now, seeing her beat Havoc because she used Havoc's mask and a distraction from Tasha Steele. Where was Navarra? I believe I got it right this time. Not Navarra, Navarra. Why? Why wasn't she helping? Why didn't she try to take care of Tasha Steele? Because she was at ringside, wasn't she? It felt like this was just a setup. Now, I did see a podcast that was talking about a possible knockouts tag titles possibly being brought back, which I wouldn't mind seeing. I'm just hoping to have enough women to actually fill it, because we don't need like a Motor City Machine Guns versus the Generation Me, only 2 teams with Impact to do the work. They need more. So I'm hoping they will go there. Finally. Oh wait. What was that about the arm wrestling match between Adidas and Hernandez? Really? I mean, I see them using up their money trying to beat Hernandez in arm wrestling, but really? I don't know. Now, let's just put it in this perspective. The end of the show was a surprise and a possible telegraphing. Well, what direction are we going in? Or where are they going? That's the name of this video. Because you just had a good to decent match between Madman Fulton and Trey using Austin. I don't really have the shot. I don't think I can get it. But if I did get the shot, you got Ace Austin's expanding stick getting hit in the face of a Madman Fulton. He didn't care. He wanted to beat him no matter what. He wanted revenge. He wanted to destroy. Now, the thing about look, Trey having a feud with Wentz or Dez would have been something special. I truly believe if they booked it right, the Rascals basically breaking up and having a feud between each other was actually going to be a better story than what we usually would get. Now, for me personally, seeing that Trey did do a DQ in the match, grab a chair and beat up on Fulton was the wisest thing to do if you want to make him look credible. Because let's be honest, as great as Trey is as a wrestler, he's not better than Dez. But he's a great high-flying wrestler. He just is. He's not the best I've ever seen, but he's a great high-flying wrestler. To see that they're trying to promote him so they can make Slammiversary mean something is good. When it comes to commentary wasn't that bad. So seeing this is good. But with the track record of Trey against Ace Austin, where he's lost every time against him unless there was a tag match, which either had 4 or 6 man tag, he's never won. He's never gotten revenge. So seeing this makes it very difficult to believe that he could actually win the title. But they're trying to build it that way. Now, that's a good thing. But I think it would have been better if the Rascals had broken up and that they go in that direction. As I said last week, guys, and I'm making it very clear here. I know people, I already got comments in the last video I made talking about you're wrong. And the person who left that message there, I'm sure he was talking about the aces and eights angle that D'Lo Brown is going to be bringing back. And they didn't show it here. But when it comes down to it, I don't believe this is the right... I know a lot of people want TNA to go back to the way it was. They want the six-sided ring. They want the good storylines. They want aces and eights back. They want to see like a Bully Ray come back. They want to see something that they used to love. But let's be honest here, guys. You're doing exactly what the WWE always does. They always play up on nostalgia. Now, there are points where nostalgia makes sense. But here in this environment, where ratings are so bad for wrestling because the virus has not promoted people to want to watch wrestling more. Look at AEW and NXT, where people kept saying that these are the darlings of wrestling, and they can't even break together 1.5 million. They can't. In most cases, both of them have been able to do 1.3 to 1.4. They have never broken 2 million together. And they're not even working together, but they're the ones that people talk about. 700,000 for AEW. 300 or 600,000 for NXT. They never break more than 1.5 million. Where wrestling is doing so bad. And you see Impact Wrestling as one of the only other shows next to AEW and WWE that's actually doing still shows that's on television. I don't even think ROH is doing anything. New Japan Pro Wrestling only came back in the last couple of weeks to a month ago. I don't know any other promotion that's generally running right now. So Impact is the only other place that's working. And yes, it does make some sense if you're from their point of view. We need to draw the people back that we lost. Let's do the aces and eights angle. But then you have to remember, and I'm making it clear for those who are so excited about aces and eights. Did you forget how bad the story got once they did the Bully Ray angle of him going into aces and eights? How many freaking months? And I say this again to anyone. Leave a comment below and try and justify what I said, because I watched the entire thing from the beginning to end like everybody else. Once Bully Ray had destroyed everyone and it was all about aces and eights, and Bully particularly, the entire storyline for aces and eights went from when Bully was not a part of aces and eights, as far as anyone knew, it was here. When he was still with Hulk Hogan's daughter, here. Once he hit here, this high, and people knew that he was part of aces and eights, that was the hottest it was. And then when they started making about Bully Ray completely, shoot, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm freaking wrong. After the 4th month of it being only about Bully Ray, only, I repeat, only about Bully Ray, that people got sick of it. It wasn't the fact that the beginning of Aces and Eights was done wrong. It was done great. And Bully fighting against Aces and Eights, it was done great with a Jeff Hardy before he got really messed up drinking again. But then when it was about Bully Ray and about politics, and I said this in my comments, politics in the back made Aces and Eights garbage, which hurt Carl Anderson, hurt Luke Gallows, it hurt Bully Ray, it hurt anyone else connected to it who was either a face or a heel. Tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong, because I'm not. Aces and Eights can be built properly if you use it at the right time, and this isn't the right time. It isn't. This should be about trying to innovate Impact Wrestling. Give people in Impact something different to do. We've seen the same stupid stuff from the Rascals for almost a year and a half. You should have made them go up against one another. Do the angle where you got Rosemary dealing with Tessa not wanting to lose her servant, and Rosemary either wants him for herself because she wants a new soul, or she's actually in love with him. It doesn't look like you're going there. Now, I'm hoping I'm wrong, but it looks like you're not 100% going there. when it comes down to Moose, have him deal with the new champion after Slammiversary and merge the titles. Do not let Moose drop the title because now Slammiversary is done, Tessa's gone, and they now have a new champion. I'm hoping they don't, and they do merge the titles or transform the Impact Championship into something new and make it mean something. A real mid-card title. You finally got an undercard title, a mid-card title, and a main event title, and then you sponsor everybody. If you're going to do women's title for tag teams, do it and have more women there to actually work with. All that stuff could be done better than AEW, better than WWE. WWE has a terrible women's title. Both of them. SmackDown and Raw. WWE has a terrible tag title for the women. They're doing nothing with them. Impact could actually be that haven people want. And if they do it right, people will care. But if you're going to go to nostalgia instead of innovate, do you actually think it's going to work? Where are they going? I repeat this again. It's a question if where they're going is going to work or not. But this is just me. Have a good day. Have a good night and watch my AEW I always botch at the end. Peace!